What's up, guys and gals, for another chapter review of Star Strike It Rich, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys when it comes to this chapter. Just read the bloody thing, because there's not a lot I can say other than each page is fire. For those complaining about the amount of usage in Kengan Omega currently, with the amount of AI and the lackluster, inspiration and pride in the work of Darrow and stuff like that, Star is not lacking in this regard. Star has just this really gritty, heavy-hitting feeling, especially since right now we have Natsumi versus Uta for most of the chapter, and then the eldest Sena sister, who is now going to be my favorite because Riku's getting her ass kicked, you know what I mean? But now I still like both Sena sisters. They're sort of my favorite fighters both as individuals and sort of as a pair. But Uta here is just taking everybody to the cleaners and stuff like that, and just it's a they fight chapter, and it's really good. I like that Natsumi initially does not back down, calling Uta this pretty thing sort of idea, and Uta's like, all right, well, I don't know what's going on, but if you're here to fight, I'm all ears. Let's do this, sort of idea. And they're like, yeah, let's do a test of strength. Now, Ri is immediately not trying to sabotage this idea. She's using this as an opportunity to be able to get a sneak attack in, which Uta eventually praises. So Natsumi goes forth, uses, of course, that weird flicker jab of hers, but Uta's battle prowess immediately sees how it works. She manages to block it at the last minute, the Phantom Fist. Goes for a kick that Natsumi thinks she can block. She's like, alright, I got my block up. And then, boom, gets actually sent off her feet, flying. And she's like, what the hell? And stuff like that. Once again, does Uta here have some Superman syndrome? I would argue probably, because they even bring up, once again, just like the muscle fibers and stuff from the last one, from previous chapters, the physical stats are brought up here once again. Just saying, like, not only does she have the eye for martial arts going, alright, she figured out the trick with the elbow and stuff for this Phantom Fist idea, and immediately Natsumi recognizes the danger of the Demon Star and says, alright, give me the laydown, like, what's the deal and stuff like that. And Uta sort of says, you know what, how about I answer this? Myself, Ri, and Hina, you can think of us all like sisters from another world or another time. Another life, as it were. We're all destined to battle it out one day to see which of us 9 sisters is the strongest, is the best. The 9-star children. And this is where it's just like, alright, so you're from the same, that's why, you're giving off that same vibes as Crazy here and Hina, because they're both out to lunch sort of idea. Now, of course, Ray brings up she's not exactly the same. The 3 of us who had combat prowess stood out clearly as superior. Uta was definitely one of those 3. In terms of sheer power, she might be the greatest of all of us. So she's probably got some form of Superman syndrome, as I said, and because she's just got this raw physical that's just dwarfing people like Natsumi and even when our beloved Sena sister shows up. So this is where Natsumi says, you know what, but I'm not going to pussy out of this. Let's go. And immediately Uta just flashed forward. And at first I'm like, okay, are they going to explain this? Is she just doing this like crazy? But she takes a heavy blocked hit, but it's screwing her up. Uta's just having a good time. Like, that was an excellent block. Great reaction time and stuff. Goes forward. And this is where it's just like, oh, what's happening? Ray is finally recognizing this is what just happened to me. She's not doing any cheap tricks or some fancy footwork. She's just moving fast in a straight line. She's just lunging forward, and it's because of her overwhelming, purely a function of her overwhelming physique. Now, this is a little much because realistically, the bulkier you get and the stronger and the heavier you are, obviously that's going to take some speed down, you know what I mean? Like, she's not exactly built like Mikatsuchi or something like that. So, these lightning fast steps, there is still some really good martial artist footwork involved, obviously. Maybe a boxer's, maybe something akin to the Rashin style. But, because obviously she has her own form of martial art. I'm going to go off on a limb here and say that she's not just some brute with just, I hit things hard, because she instantly recognized how the Phantom Fist worked and stuff like that. So I'm going to assume that part of her martial art still includes fancy footwork. Ri sort of has part of the equation, but not the full story. That, you know, she's moving so quickly despite her big size. It definitely involves some type of footwork. It's just not like it's not like Blink or something like that is the point. It's not meant to be something so supernatural like Blink. It's just like she's just moving really fast. She's just really fast. And so Natsumi is, of course, blocking these hits, but she's getting her absolute ass handed to her. She is getting wrecked. And as I said, the artwork, you guys just have to read this chapter. It's really, really good. This is when Ri comes in with Army Breaker Supreme Dawn. Her ultimate attack goes for the back of the neck, of course. You know, it's the vital spot. Uta is not affected and said, surprise attack. I appreciate the effort. Your choice of target was poor, however, and this is where she takes this kick to the gut, and Ri is just vomiting, just like that hit fucking hurt. So I'm gonna double down once again on times 2.2 Superman syndrome. Like Wakatsuki's like 54 times or something like that. Zaiji and Yan are supposedly like times 2 or 3 or something. So I'm gonna go out on limb, or maybe they're upwards to times like 8. I don't know. Like, I think that she's probably on the lower spectrum of Superman syndrome, but does definitely have it. 1.5, 1.8, 2, something like that. And she just basically says, my traps are, you know, they'll absorb any impact. I've trained this body perfectly, so there are no weak spots on my body. Like, you can't hit the back of my neck as a weak spot. Now, that being said, of course, we know about pressure points and stuff. This is still in the Kengan verse. She's talking some shit that realistically, no, everyone has certain weak points that can be exploited, and you can't, by physically training, you can't erase them. You know what I mean? Even guys like Julius and Waka can't erase these things. So, but the fact is that, yeah, it would take somebody like Waka, obviously, to make the back of her neck a weak point at this point. Like, you would have to have an overwhelming amount of strength. If you can't do damage to her normally, you're not going to be able to do damage to the back of her neck. It's the sort of the point here, you know, because her muscles are everywhere and stuff. So she's having a grand old time going, random woman with strengths that rival the stars. And Ri, you've grown so much. Our meeting must have been inevitable. Now stand back up. Let's continue this wonderful rumble of a fight. And then just back of the head grab. This is a killer mom. Back of the head grab. And Rico is on the scene. Grabs her by the back of the head and slams her head right into the concrete and just was like, pipe down, don't make such a fuss in the hallway. And it's just like, alright, she's here. And Natsumi and Ri are like, holy crap, did she just pull that stunt? So it's still looking not so great by the end of the chapter, but this was still a badass moment where, you know, Rico shows up and just dominates. You know what I mean? Just absolutely dominates, right? And, you know, she's like, wait, were you guys, did I interfere with something? Like, is this a friend of yours? Like, what did I just do? And we see the imprint, like, the breaking of the concrete and stuff. And there's like, oh my god, she thinks before she actually really is psycho. And this is where the Demon Star stands up once again, despite Rico being like, wait, what? This amount of strength? And it's just like, holy shit. So then, like, she gets back up. She's on one knee, but she's risen her torso back up. And Rico's trying to hold her down and can't. So then by the end of the chapter, she's grabbing her forearm and trying to force with all her might down. But the Demon Star is still managing. It's like, holy crap. And she's just, she's elated. She's like, a 3-on-1. Bring it on. I can't wait for this battle to be such a splendid performance. And end of chapter. As I said, the art, the aura, the fighting, the choreography, everything is just really, really good in this chapter. I like that we're including multiple fighters and stuff like that. So yeah, chapter 64, great read. Definitely go check it out. I don't know anybody who would actually, I mean, it's happened in the past, but I don't know anybody who would not read the chapter, then watch my review to see if the chapter's good to read. I mean, I appreciate if you guys think that my opinion is so valued or something like that, but I don't know of anybody who would actually not read the chapter and watch a review of basically anything, movies, music, what have you, manga, anime, what have you. But just in case, and even if you did read the chapter, go back and read it again. It is a good damn chapter. It's top 10 chapters in Star, easy. Top 5 chapters. It's really freaking good. It's just good. There's no fat on this one. It's just full of, it's I'm not going to say it's like perfect, but it's pretty much a 10 out of 10 chapter. Like, there's zero fat, not a lot of like exposition unnecessarily, no bad use of choreography or art or anything like that. It was just smooth and to the point. In fact, my only issue with it, because it was so good and so action-packed, it felt like a short read, because there wasn't a lot of exposition dumping or commentary from the sidelines. Every character in the chapter was involved in the actual fighting, therefore there wasn't a lot of time for dialogue bubbles, right? And in a they fight chapter, you don't really want the dialogue bubbles to interfere with the flow. So, realistically, as I said, one of the best chapters of Star, in my opinion. What do you guys think, though? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And we'll see all you wonderful people back here next time for Star 65. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. Have a good one. Sayonara.